Sup amigos, it's your boy Tello back to you in another video for today. Hope everyone's having a damn good one. Been busy the past couple days, been playing a lot of Arc Raiders, so check us out on the Kick. We've been trying to grow the Kick over there. Come support your boy if you want to watch me live. I'm usually live around these times, but I'll have the Kick labeled here on the screen the entire time so you guys can see where to support your boy. In today's video, we're talking about the Hearthstone currency that, a lot of people online are currently flipping out on, and Twitter has been a complete shit show, by the way. If it's not always a shit show for everybody who just goes on Twitter in general, it's always a fucking mess over there. But regardless, it has been a real shit show for Wowhead's post about that Hearthstone currency and how many people are reposting it and just going crazy, and people are just mad. So I want to talk about how the player reception is on that currency, also my opinion as well, and just how people are defending it too. So let's talk about the defense part, because that's like the easiest thing to get out the way. I see a lot of people defending the coin, and they're saying, well, Blizzard's a company at the end of the day. They have to make profit. And this is the typical response. This is like the usual, we are on the side of Blizzard response, and that's totally fine. If you enjoy a Blizzard product, this is no hate towards you. We're talking about the hardcore loyalists who stick by the company no matter what decision they make. We're talking about this type of individual. If you're just a regular Joe and you play the product, this does not pertain to you at all. Enjoy the game how you want, please. I'm not here to knock that. To the person who is completely wearing blindfolds and they just enjoy every single decision Blizzard makes, this is to you. Every response I see from these people online, man or girl, whoever the fuck they are, they say the same shit. They say, we are sticking by Blizzard because Blizzard has every right to make a profit for themselves. Or Blizzard is just doing something new and creative. Or Blizzard is just trying to change the industry standard. Or Blizzard is just trying to give a new way for people to be more involved with the game because they're a growing company and they have to meet their demands and profits. It's all this weird wannabe corporate lingo talk, or this higher jargon quality of writing, whether they are using ChatGPT online to fucking write these posts to begin with. It's just this weird lingo. It doesn't sound humane. It doesn't sound like an actual fucking person speaking. So when we see people say shit like this as regular motherfuckers, right, as regular people, we look at it and we're like, bro, you just sound like you're selling me a fucking yacht. As if Bobby Kotick, when he used to work for Blizzard, didn't get 1,000 of them anyways. Who knows the next guy getting 1,000 yachts now? But that's besides the point. I'm just saying, it just doesn't sound humane when you say these posts like this, And if you don't understand why people, are, upset at Blizzard because of this currency, and there is a crowd for that, right? They don't quite get why there is rage and anger in the Blizzard scene. It's because you're not putting yourself in those shoes of those players who played all those years ago, who grew up and saw from time after time the change of where the company once was to where it is now. And that's totally fine. I have, obviously, even myself included, I wasn't there in 2004, 2005. I was watching my cousins play the first time a fucking Shaman in the Barrens. I was watching my fucking other cousin play an Undead Warlock the first time starting in Brill. I remember, the early days of WoW, but not even playing it, and then fucking catching up with all the history, doing all the research, looking into all the names, the credible sources. I was a big Diablo guy in my days, and I followed, the trail and saw where they once were to where they are now. And a lot of stuff has changed. But I understand why people are upset. I get the annoyance. I get why people feel burnt, and time after time, they don't want these systems implemented when other systems in place already can be improved, and people have been asking for those changes for years now to never get a response, or to have a response that's more of a gray area and it just doesn't answer the solution to the problem, which Blizzard and this company is notorious for, is seeing something but not truly answering it and going around it by providing something else that supplements it. And it's never really the solution to the issue, is what I'm trying to say. So for those people who are stuck in that gray area of saying, well, why is people mad all the time? Maybe it's because of the 1,000 remount colors that have happened over the years of just 3D digital assets that keep getting rendered and suckering people for 20 bucks over and over and over again, or just the same type amount with lazy designs, or the same type of artistic choices with lazy decision making, aka the stuff that we seen from even the Midnight trailer a while back, a couple months back, where people were flipping out online with the elves, right, with them not having the proper eye coloring, or the textures of the models of the faces looking like more of a down quality in comparison to the original War Within trailer with Anduin, right? When we saw that trailer, it looked like a much more higher esteemed quality in comparisons to what we saw with the Midnight trailer. Therefore, why the Midnight trailer had so many dislikes to begin with. So that's just the little nitty-gritty details, and then you go into the game, obviously, with changes to, what decisions they make, the fundamental systems of each expansion that got people either really happy or really annoyed with how the current game was. And then also on top of balancing and class changes, which has always been a broken thing with Blizzard that has never been truly fixed. So I'm answering this politely, by the way. I'm not trying to be negative at all in this. I'm trying to give you an actual genuine conversation to those people in the middle of the gray area that don't quite understand why people are upset at Blizzard for a lot of things. And then obviously with my personal gripes, the TOS, right? Obviously the G2Gs, the overgear.coms, the gold buying. With Blizzard not even following their own TOS and tons of issues happening there. But the moral of the problem is basically how Blizzard continues to move without the community feeling involved with what decisions they're going to make next. And like a lot of other games which they have, OSRS, for example, is a perfect example of this, where they have a community poll on what they vote for, what's coming next, what the community thinks about this, getting community reception before they make a decision implemented within the product. That's something that I feel like World of Warcraft needs more than ever, personally, so we can all have agreements or disagreements on these things. Just like, for example, when Zaryu was doing his, Excel sheet with his community on what people think Classic Plus can look like. It's very important to get people's opinions and get people's decisions, and not saying those need to be solidified decisions, but to at least have some understanding where the grounding of a foundation of where people's minds are at. And I think the biggest problem with Blizzard and why people don't relate with Blizzard as much anymore, and why you're seeing such more anger and hate on the internet towards them, is because they don't feel like these people over there at Blizzard put themselves in the shoes of the actual player. They don't understand the actual player anymore. That's what people truthfully feel like on the internet who are upset about this. And now I'm explaining the side of people that are annoyed. They feel like these developers, or just Blizzard in general, puts themselves in the shoes of just working on the game, giving all the work to the quality assurance testers, making sure the project is pushed out, seeing how those profits react to the decisions they made according to their roadmap, and then once those decisions are made, whether they're good or bad, they then make their next change within the next patch without consulting the player base itself. Or, another side, being a part of the player base themselves and actually being a player of the game. Now, whether you're a super casual player or a hardcore player, at the end of the day, both of your opinions matter to the eye of Blizzard. They're trying to please you guys in every way possible to, make sure that their decisions that they make are profitable. The reason why people are annoyed with Blizzard is because they feel like that the profits are being prioritized over the understanding of the community. You get what I'm saying here? So let's rerun that again. The profits are the prioritization and the monetization over the community more than the actual changes themselves that would fix the product, more than the actual decisions that would take the product to the next leap, the next evolution of World of Warcraft. This is where the biggest problems come into play, and this is why people are upset. Over the years of what I've explained to the crowd over there in the middle that doesn't quite understand it, to the angry crowd that obviously gets it, and to the crowd that is on the side of Blizzard, which I'm, I guess, speaking more to you guys right now, people are upset with the fact that their decisions and their questions and their concerns and the implementations for years on end for both retail players and classic players have not been met. And instead of those, actual fundamental changes to find some type of, fun spot for the product to be at, you then hit them with a currency for housing, which was something that was completely out of left field. Let's actually, be honest with ourselves. If that currency was not put into the player housing, Do you think Blizzard would be less profitable, if not more, regardless? Their trending data year after year has been going up in terms of how much money they're making. If you look at the billions they're making a year, they are going up as a company in terms of how much money they're making. You have to understand, this is not just Blizzard we're talking about here. We're talking about Activision on top of this with Microsoft now. They have a whole franchise of fucking games. So they're doing good. Now, don't get me wrong, any company wants to do more than just good. If you make a fucking, $999 million, of course you want to hit that billion, right? You don't want to be a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire. And after a billionaire, what do you want to be? A trillionaire. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, and I get that. This is where I want to come up from a more humane standpoint. The biggest problem of all of this is that the fact that this is a corporate billion-dollar fucking company at this point. They have made so much money where now, instead of it looking like that, the corporation's actually for the people and it's standing by the people, it seems like it's against the people by trying to get more from its people. And it's getting to the point where a lot of people are looking at this shit and saying, bro, Blizzard's coming out really fucking greedy, man. I'm sorry. And I hate to be that guy to be like, oh my god, here's another dude, getting mad at the big bad Blizzard. But my lord, when is it going to come to the point where people are going to wake up and realize you are literally eating shit sandwiches every fucking day, and you're thanking them for it? You're thanking them for the slice of shit sandwich. You're thanking them, please sir, more shit sandwich in my mouth. That's what you're asking them every fucking day when you keep deciding to side on the man that doesn't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. I'm trying to explain that. I've said this in a while back in a video where I said Blizzard doesn't care about you, and I stand on that still because it is the truth. They only care if you actually vocally express how annoyed you are with a system, and it becomes an overwhelming negative where it hurts their profits in a way where, oh my gosh, we might have people losing subs, we might have people, not being part of our game no more. Let's reverse the decision. But if people are not going to stop that decision in masses, all the whales are going to support it. It's going to prove Blizzard right, and they're going to continue heading down this road of being the company that no longer stands by the player. I think the biggest problem is that Blizzard just simply doesn't understand their players. They don't understand their community. And it takes several complaining and whining and bitching for people to get to them. And then you have the individuals who defend them. And I understand that you love Blizzard, and I understand that's the only game you'll ever play, but I'm going to say something that's going to come off a little left field. You funded the beast, and then you asked, why is the beast eating your fucking legs off? And for the corporate people that are defending Blizzard tooth and nail, sword and shield, and working under a 401k with bennies, I understand your point of conversation is saying, well, they have every right to make as many profits as they want. I can go outside right now, which I am, and go across the park and clothesline a motherfucker. Does that make it right? Fuck no. But I have the right to do so. It doesn't make it right. It's just a decision. I don't need to make that decision. I could choose to let a person enjoy their day and not deal with a fucking sore torso and a neck. But I choose not to go clothesline a motherfucker. The same way Blizzard doesn't need to choose to continuously greed on their own player base. They don't need to do that. They got the billions of dollars. They don't need to continue to fucking sucking off their community dry, is what I'm trying to explain to you. If you pick up what I'm putting down, that's what I'm getting at. And it's a reason why I think more and more people by the day are just getting tired of their shit. With all due respect, and I'm not trying to be this disrespectful individual to, come off as an asshole, come off as a person that is, anti-Blizzard. I hate them completely. I disagree with a lot of their fucking decisions. Of course, I'm not a part of their product anymore until one day I see maybe there's a new turn with whatever it's Classic Plus or whatever the fuck it is. I've been playing Arc Raiders. I've been having a way better time on that product than I fucking ever had with WoW in the past several months. We have to start understanding our players by being a fucking player, communicating with our players. And we have to stop this, just because we see 1,000 forum posts online or 1,000 tweets online, this is then the point where we now take action before we actually ask questions to our community, what they like and what they don't like, and where we get the data from this. And that's the problem, is that the lack of understanding is what's killing the vibe for a lot of people. I don't want to come across this video and, try to hit you with some, this is a negative Nancy video about this current situation. The reality of the situation at the end of the day is this. Your players are tired. Your players are annoyed. And instead of fixing actual issues with the game, whether it's current retail or classic, you add more microtransactions to your product. Whether you say it's optional, you don't need to buy it, you can turn a blind eye to it, you don't need to see what's going on that side of the street. I could watch somebody getting mugged right now, I could turn a blind eye to it, don't do anything. That's what you're saying. You're saying turn a blind eye to it and just obey and consume. That's a fucking problem, bro. Wake up and smell the coffee. Manon, what's wrong with you, dog? You have to realize that that's not the Blizzard we once fucking knew. And Activision and Microsoft being a part of these cocksuckers, it's a problem, bro. It's truly a problem, and I'm telling you right now, this is something that I hate to see, but unfortunately, this is the reality we live in. And this is the shit that we need to call out as a player base when we see this dog shit happening, and we have to put it out in the limelight. This real transaction currency shit, whether it's optional or not, this should have never been involved or attached to Midnight. If it wasn't attached to Midnight itself might be a really good fucking expansion. But then to add this little, like, subtle thing, like saying, oh, it's just an optional thing based off your BattleNet balance. Oh, it's not something you need to do. But hey, if you want to, you can add more money to your BattleNet balance, and you can purchase this and separate our transactions from our WoW tokens to this. And now we're creating a whole bunch of markets in between to spread our revenue. And now we're doing this very calculated to make sure that we're maximizing our profit potential. And now players are actually intrigued of buying more housing items. Wait, this might affect how we go about doing other stuff within World of Warcraft by bringing this system to housing in other places and then bringing this token system there too. They're not dumb, is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a business, this is a corporation. They think about this shit on the daily. As a person who plays Classic WoW, I just don't want to see this type of system implemented within Classic Plus in the future. I don't care about the WoW token, it's going to happen regardless, but seeing more currencies being involved in the game, that's very concerning. And I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that portion. I don't want to see that implemented within the future of an official Blizzard product. And I think this opens up the doorway to do more things that we've never imagined before. If you thought this was the last thing they did, my friends, you are sadly wrong on this one. Because this is probably not the only thing that they're going to do that creates controversy. Blizzard creates this bullshit and this drama on themselves. I don't even want to do this as a fucking creator who makes videos on World of Warcraft and talks about, you know, the upcoming things with Blizzard and the rights and wrongs. But at the end of the day, they choose to do this on themselves. The players have been upset with World of Warcraft for years now and the quality of where it's going. It's not because it's just, oh, there's just basic little bullshit going on. It's been a plunder of issues that's been going on that have been neglected or yet implemented, players' demands and questions and concerns yet to get addressed. And now we're hearing a new thing come into the game that has nothing to do with what we truly want as World of Warcraft players. And listen, guys, I hate to be that dude that, like, comes off as a person that is speaking negative or being a doom and gloomer, whatever the fucking people and kids say nowadays. I don't care about any of that shit. I'm just being real. If you want somebody to just chill and say Blizzard is doing good, bro, poggers, I'm sure you can go watch another channel out there. There's tons of them on YouTube. Go check them out. But if you want somebody keeping it $1.50 with you and letting you know what the fuck is up, this is the reality of the situation, and it's why people are annoyed about it. And for the defenders out there of Blizzard, I don't even hate you guys. I'm not mad at you guys, but I'm trying to argue your points with my point, and my point is this. You could sit here and defend Blizzard and turn a blind eye to everything for the rest of your life. It's not going to improve the quality of your product in the long run. I'm just being real with you. That's not how this works. It's a reason why the quality of Blizzard has slowly been declining over the years. You could check the fucking charts, go to the Google Trends, go to the statistics, whatever you want to fucking do. It's slowly going down over the years. The hype, especially, has been very going down over the years. The last time we've seen something good, what, 2019 because of COVID? And now you look at Season of Discovery, that was the last time we had a little something, but it's still going down. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's dying. You know, I'm not saying WoW is dead, because that's the dumbest conversation ever. WoW will never fucking die. But the reality is that we cannot continue to turn a blind eye every time Blizzard does something stupid. They're the ones doing this. It's not that our side of the fence, we're a bunch of rage people upset and mad, and your side of the fence is just a bunch of happiness and sunshine and rainbows.
The fact is, Blizzard is causing it. They're the cause of the problem. It's them. We have to wake up to reality on some Madara shit. Let's wake up to reality and see what's going on. This is the real problem here. So, I'm just being honest with you, man. If we continue turning the blind eye and put on the fucking, the shades and the shafters and everything closes down, the shutters are down, this is completely going to be always a busted fucking game. Just like the Call of Duty franchise. I've seen that franchise from its glory days, bro. From MW2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, World at War. I've seen it at its glory days. And now look at COD now. Just being honest with you. Anyways, much love. Keep on keeping on. It's time for me to go eat a double cheeseburger with some fries and go play some fucking Arc Raiders, because Arc Raiders is a fucking phenomenal product. I'm having a great time with that game. And go from there. Anyways, catch you later. Peace out.